So the old way that we would multiply this trinomial is by drawing a box. And in this box we would put the first term on the top, the next term along the side, and then we would multiply into each part of the box. Y times y is y squared, 2 times y is 2y, y times 5 is 5y, and 2 times 5 is 10. Then we would look inside our box and gather our terms. We pick the highest power first, so that's this one. And we write it as y squared. These two are like terms, so we're going to combine them together to get 7y. And at the end we have the plus 10. Now the new method the book talks about to multiply binomials like this is what they call the FOIL method. And FOIL, those letters are representing what you do in each step. So the F represents for first terms. So that would be the y is the first in this binomial, the y is the first in that binomial. So first is y times y, y squared. The outer terms are this y and this 5. So y times 5, 5y. Inner terms right here are the 2 and the y. 2 times y is 2y. And the last terms are the last terms in the two binomials, the 2 and the 5. So that multiplies to be 10. You're really adding in between all of these terms. So our final answer, because these are like terms, y squared plus 7y plus 10. Now notice these are the same 4 terms we get in the box when we did it last time, but it's just a little quicker. Write it all out this way, combine your like terms this way. Okay, let's do this mentally. Using FOIL, the first term, a times a, is a squared. The next term is going to be the outer and the inner term combined. So the outer term is negative 3a, the inner term is 5a. Negative 3a plus 5a, positive 2a. Last term, 5 times negative 3. Now this one's a little harder. We're still using the FOIL method. First term, 2x times 3x is 6x squared. Now the next term here is going to be a combination of the outer and the inner term. So the outer term is negative 8x. The inner term is 15x. Negative 8x plus 15x is positive 7x. Last, 5 times negative 4, 20. Final answer. Now this problem is much more difficult than the last ones because there are 2 different variables in here. We can still take some shortcuts to multiply this out, but I want to do the whole thing in my head. I'm going to use the FOIL approach. The first term is going to be 4h times 2h. That's 8h squared. That was easy enough. Now instead of combining these together at one step, I'm going to write them separately. So my outer terms are 4h and 3k. That's going to make 12hk. Inner terms, negative k times 2h. That's going to be negative 2hk. Now some of you might want to write kh, but realize it doesn't matter what order these are in, and I'm usually going to go and put them in alphabetical order. So we're going to do that this time. Now the last is negative k times 3k. That's negative 3k squared. Now I need to check my final answer to see if I have any like terms. These two, as usual, are like terms. So I have my 8h squared put together. This is going to be a 10hk minus 3k squared. Final answer. Now we have the same idea. We have binomials here and we have binomials here, except now they're equations. I have an equation sign. So instead of our answer being a polynomial, our answer we should be able to get something like x equals 2. In order to do this, we have to multiply this side out and multiply this side out. Right now they are separate sides. So this one, let's do this mentally. X squared first. Outer is negative 3x, inner is negative 2x, so that's negative 5x. And the last is negative 2 times negative 3, it's a positive 6. Do the same thing on this side. First, x squared. Outer is 3x, inner is negative 7x, so that's negative 4x. And last is negative 21. Now, here's the equation I have. Right now, we don't know how to solve equations with the x squared, so there should be a step we can do to get rid of them. And that would be to subtract it on both sides. If we do that, we end up with the equation negative 5x plus 6 equals negative 4x minus 21. So far, so good. Got variables on both sides. I'm going to get rid of them by adding 5x to both sides. So I have 6 equals, this becomes 1x minus 21. To solve for x, add 21. So I get 27 equals 1x, or just 27 equals x. Whoop, couldn't see that there. There's our final answer.